Hi, welcome to Soul Stream Media Podcast number one. We're here to uncover truth, tap into our power, and this podcast is an invitation for you to connect with your soul. And I'm Stacy St. Clair, your host. I have a wonderful guest today, Tiffany Jackson, the owner of Caring Hearts Agency, in-home healthcare for your heart. Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for joining me.
Yes.
Now, you are in
Thank
St.
you.
Louis, Missouri, and you are the uh, only in-home legacy registered nurse, veteran-owned, family-owned home healthcare in St. Louis. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And you are the mother of six children, married to a
Yes.
veteran. You're
Yes.
running this amazing, fairly large company. You've grown this, and tell us, how did you find this passion and your soul's purpose? Because obviously it is your soul's purpose to be running Caring Hearts Agency.
Well, yes, and I think it's the Lord's mission as well because my mom started it. Actually, last month we turned 28 years old. So she started, it was actually in our basement, and it's just grown from there. So she was a nurse practitioner, and she started it, and then, once she passed away in 2015, then I took it over. And my husband and I now run it. But I have been working with long before, working side by side with her over the years because I'm a registered nurse as well. So yeah, it was just kind of natural. I just would step in there and try to fill her shoes as best as possible.
That's amazing. I love it. Owning any business is not easy. How do you um, what's your biggest challenge with a mother of six and a wife and owning this business? What is your biggest, stressor?
I think my biggest stressor is probably, you should hear the phones ringing, navigating business and, marriage and children all together and trying to do everything well. So I think that's a challenge, is doing it all well. So we can do it
Yeah, not
and,
letting the balls, lots of balls in the air and not letting them drop. But sometimes they drop. How do you
yes.
handle it when a ball drops?
You know what? I really analyze the situation and I have to take it to the Lord, to be honest. I have to take it to the Lord in prayer because I'm not going to be perfect at everything. I'm going to miss some things. Matter of fact, my son asked this morning, he's on this thing called Roblox, which he's 9. That's something I think maybe, those around that age, he's on there. And he just said, how come you don't play anymore? So he likes to see me get on there. And I had to say, son, I don't really have the time right now. I said, I'm working right now, 8 o'clock this morning as we're speaking. While waiting on him to get on the bus, I'm trying to get things done. And so I'm not perfect at trying to balance children and a husband and business. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
try to do my best.
how can we? Yeah.
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 I just try to do my best. Yeah.
I love that though, but they're seeing a really strong mother, like you said, working hard, making it happen, and carrying on this legacy. This is a family legacy, and I'm sure out of six children, someone's going to take this caring hearts
Someone take
to
it.
the next generation. Yeah. Yeah, I love
Yes.
it. Well, I hear, and knowing you, I know you remain calm because you have that faith. And I think non-reaction is so important, and just pause when a ball drops. And like you did, you just stayed calm, and you communicated with your son. And
Yes. Absolutely. That's the key, trying to stay calm. And some situations come up where you're like, oh my, I could really lose in this moment, even with kids. Sometimes you're like, ooh, what just happened? And you try to remain calm as best as possible. And I try to work on that intentionally, like thinking before I speak. And so that I don't regret what I say or, just let emotions take the best of me at that moment. And that may mean, I may mean it in that moment how I feel like I'm upset or angry or hurt or disappointed, but the words that come out need to be, I need to choose those wisely. So it's okay to have emotions and react in a certain, like to feel, have these certain feelings, but it's how we handle those certain feelings that I really try to focus on so that, because some things happen, you just really want to lose it. I call it that's why I say, I feel like I want to lose it right now, but I just stay calm. And we're having a toddler. I have a 2 year old and a 4 year old. And sometimes, they just take you there, But so I have to stay calm. And even with business sometimes, things happen that are out of your control and you want to lose it then too, but you know what, you just have to kind of take a step back and say, okay, like, Lord, what do you want me to do in this moment, and help me to do your will and see what can I do better, or what next steps do I need to take, because business is ups and downs, and kids can be up and down as well. They get sick, and different things happen, and you just have to kind of navigate through all those different situations as they come up.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think that pause, that pause to hear what, the next right action is so important. And especially, you're with your staff, you have case managers, they're planning custom plans for all of your clients so that the families have peace of mind, um, that your their loved one has peace of mind, and that's what we all want, peace of mind. So I can tell you have a lot of peace of mind because you're leading this, with peace of mind. I can almost say that's your mission for your families, your clients, that they have peace of mind. So you have to have peace of mind. And I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. What's your, besides prayer, um, and I'm sure you're immersed with a church there in St. Louis, what else do you do for your personal, what's your routine for your self-care to prepare for 6 children, a husband, and you're running your business?
I Monday through Friday, I make it a habit to get up at 4 a.m. Like the Proverbs 31 woman, it said, I think it's Proverbs 31:10, that whole section where it starts off where, and she was an entrepreneur, and it said like how she got up while it was yet night, praying for her family and everything. So I get up at 4 a.m. and I pray, I read my devotionals,
You take your
and
time.
I do, and then I check bank accounts because I have to
Yeah,
do a little bit of work. I have to check
yeah.
email, just a little bit. And I really don't get into emails because until later, but you know, and then I do that, and then I head to the gym. So I'm at the gym by 5 a.m. and I work out from 5 a.m. to 6:30, and that's my time. My specific between 4 and 6:30 a.m. is my time really to prepare myself so I can take on the challenges of the day, whatever comes my
That
way.
is amazing. That's it right there. I knew we were going to get down to how does she handle all this, and it's because you do that. Yeah, 4 a.m. You're in the 4 a.m. club. I'm in the 5 a.m. club. You may inspire me. I'm in the 4 a.m. club when I travel. I will get up that
Yes,
early.
yes,
But oh my gosh. Okay, you're in the 4 a.m. club. That's a whole new level. And I knew that because how could you be a mother of six? And I know you have a great marriage and
yes.
this amazing business of Caring Hearts Agency, Homecare Health. I mean, that is such a big service to the community in St. Louis. And are you taking on new clients? Are you always building and growing? And how can people reach you? What's the best way for a family to reach you today that needs home health care for their loved one?
Great, I'm glad you asked. Yes, so our website is caringheartsagency.com, and that's Caring Hearts with a S, agency.com. And we are located in St. Louis, and we're in Kansas City, Missouri, and we're also in Columbia, Missouri. And yes, we are taking on new clients. We are
Wonderful.
expanding and growing, yes, as we speak, literally. So, just always trying to look for new opportunities and see who else we can help. And we also we have a contract with the VA, so we service veterans. That's near and dear to my heart and my husband's heart since he's active duty Army. And we have a contract with Department of Health, so we can service those clients, and we also take care of pediatrics. So we have a pediatric division where we take care of the kids with special needs.
Well, that's amazing. So, children with special needs, veterans, did you say mental health
And mental health, yes.
and
We do
elderly
all,
or
yeah. Elderly, disabled, and people with Alzheimer's, yes. We help those
wow, okay.
caregivers.
That is amazing. So you really are. How did you know it was your purpose? Do you remember that moment? Like I remember the moment that I was meant to publish health and wellness magazines. I heard a voice in prayer that said, publish holistic healthcare magazines. I just completed 20 years, 6 million readers. Um, and I hope we're going
Congratulations.
to, I thank you. Thank you. I hope we're going to reach a lot more people with this Soulstream Media podcast. Um, when was that moment for you that you knew you were, of course, you worked with your mother in the business, but when was that moment that you knew you were to take it over?
Believe it or not, I'm just going to be transparent. Um,
Please.
I did not know. And what happened was I was helping my mom. I loved it when she was running it, and because I was an employee, and it's very different than being an employer. Because I just collected my check and that was that. But when you're an employer, you may not get a check, right? But you have to grind and sacrifice so that everyone else does. So actually, my husband was stationed in Illinois, and so we left Missouri 6 months before my mom passed away. And so I had stopped working with her to relocate with my husband. And that's when, out the blue, she passed away in her sleep. And then I got the phone call that I need to come and try to take over the business. So
Was your mother still actively running the business when she
still active, had went to work
passed
that
away
week,
in her sleep? Wow.
literally. Yes, because she would say she likes to stay busy, so she's still, yes. And she was so sweet and generous, and that's probably why the Lord just took her in her sleep, didn't suffer at all. And so then I got I had to get a phone call, and believe it or not, she passed away on a Friday, and it was payday. And it was 10 years ago, so that's when you had to hand sign checks. So I had to go visit my mom at the home, and I literally had to leave there and go to the accountant's office because you know why? Everybody still need to be paid. So that was my jump start into entrepreneurship. That even though this was so sudden out of the blue, I had to gather myself to be able to make sure everyone could pay their bills and feed their families, and that's what I did. And
And what were
so
you
I
doing
lived
up
in there.
until that moment? What
I
were
was a
you doing up
stay-at-home
until
mom. A
stay-at-home
stay-at-home
mom?
mom.
How many children did you have at that
At that time, I only
time?
had four. I only had four at that time.
Okay, only
So I was a
four.
stay-at-home mom. So it was a very different shift.
That's
So I had to be like, oh,
amazing.
yeah. So now I have all these employees and businesses to run and from afar. But God was so good to me that we had great management. Still do have great management. And I was able to travel around the nation with my husband. We lived in California, Ohio, Illinois, all these different places in the last 10 years. We've been moving around. Now we're back here in Missouri. Praise God. He's retiring in January. So um, the Lord is the reason why I've been able to do that. And so that's how entrepreneurship came to me by default. And I tell you, I love it though. I love it.
That's good. What do
Yes.
you love about it? What's your biggest love? We talked about the biggest stressor. What's the biggest love that you love about it?
I really love like giving relief to caregivers. It's so many because my dad he was on hospice and we used our home care agency to be able because we were stationed in still in Illinois and I needed he needed care around the clock and we were able to utilize our own home care agency to help him because he didn't want to leave his house. He was in his mind was sound. He wanted to stay at home, and so my mom had passed away. It was just him, and I was able to utilize our own home care to care for him, even though I couldn't be there all the time, and to know and have that peace of mind that my father was being well taken care of until the next time I could get to see him was amazing. And I want to do that for other people, where the caregivers can they can have maybe get out for a little while and take a break and just recoup them, and just live a little bit, and then they can come back home and take care of their aging or disabled parents or family members or grandparents or whoever it is. So I love it for the caregivers and I
Hmm.
also love for the patients because the patients are happy because they're well cared for. They love our
Yeah.
staff And we also have a program where we can pay a family member to take care of their loved ones. So it's a win-win. We
That's
can pay their
amazing.
family to care for them, and so they get paid, and also it's someone they know and are familiar with.
So did you just know in your heart when you jumped into it, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. How is that transition?
Well, I always wanted to own a business. I just didn't know what. So literally, when I graduated from
Okay,
nursing school, as I was
okay.
crossing like the stage, I literally said, I want to own my own business one day. So I knew that I just want to work in a hospital as a nurse. And so I even went and got a master's in business administration. I didn't know what business, but I knew I wanted to own a business. So with that,
Okay.
that I don't know if I necessarily use my MBA. I probably use my nursing degree more than anything.
So
Um,
I hear that you truly do let your soul guide you. I hear that you
yes,
let
absolutely.
it's clear in this because you heard it, you felt it as you're crossing the stage, getting your diploma as a nurse, and then you knew you followed your intuition, your soul's pull, or the Holy Spirit,
Yes,
whatever you want to call it, that you want to own a business someday. You could feel it, you can feel it, and
yes,
you could go ahead and get your master's, not knowing, right, what business you will run, but you knew you would run one. And then, yeah, I love it. You can see how God just, so eloquently laid it all out for you. And
yes.
you're just following in your mother's footsteps. And I'm sure those of us that know you, all of us say you are special, caring, and generous. And, what was on your mind that first day of owning the business when your mother passed was paying, your people and making sure, everyone in that company was taken care of that day. So while you're
Yes.
about to start grieving the loss, a big loss in your life.
Huge. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
you must have an incredibly supportive husband also.
Absolutely. And since
And
he's
I know
on
you
the
want to give him some acknowledgement here.
absolutely, absolutely. I always say instead of saying he's my better half, I say he's my best half because even with being in the army and like I say, he's retiring in January, which is great. He can come help me like full time with the home care, which is actually how we met through because his mom needed home care. So that's our love story. And he called me. Somebody recommended our company. He was talking to me because I was doing the marketing, and then he just loved all the things that we offered, and he wanted to meet me. And anyway, it's been a love story ever since. So yes,
Oh,
my
that's so
husband.
wonderful.
See, in home care
That's
is
so
great for any
wonderful.
program.
I know you have challenges, but
Yes.
I believe, and you can give a testimony that you are so close to God that your life, like you have a fulfilling marriage, you have a fulfilling career, you have 6 children, you're fulfilled in that area for sure, and you love what you do, and you are carrying on this legacy of your mother's. And
Yes.
so, yeah, we just want to, of course, give thanks for all that. And um,
Yes, I do. Yes, he is. He is so supportive, and also we are licensed foster parents. So our last two kids we
oh,
adopted, and we adopted them at birth, and then now we're licensed. So we also care for foster kids in our not in our spare time. No, they just come alongside.
yeah,
So we
that's
wanna,
so
yeah, we wanna,
beautiful.
help as many people as possible.
You do. I mean, you're making an impact. You are making a huge impact. How many well, we don't need to do numbers, but if you're in St. Louis, Columbia, Missouri, Kansas City, you're making a huge impact. So
We're
keep
trying.
up the great work. Thank you for being my first podcast on Soul Stream Media. And thank you for being such an inspiration of a strong, powerful woman connected to God. And, you do have it all. I know it's not easy, but we heard what you're doing. You're in the 4 a.m. club. You're taking care of your physical health, your spiritual health, your mental health. And there's no other way that you could you're holding a big vessel of light, and I'm super impressed. Love you to the moon, and thank you so much. And Well, lean in just a little bit. I know the camera was blurry for our viewers, but lean in and be real still
Is it
so it'll
still
clear up. I
blurry?
want everyone to see this beautiful woman. There you are.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, Tiffany.
I appreciate you having
Okay,
me.
that's
Congratulations
so.
again.
Thank you. This is Soul Stream Media podcast number one, talking with Tiffany Jackson, the owner of Sacred Hearts Agency, Home Care with a Heart. Thank you so much.